Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Dow Event Center. And before we delve into some new information pertaining to this wonderful event that is coming up a few months from now that will take over downtown Detroit in connection with the event coming up in Ann Arbor as well at Michigan Stadium, I want to, will you indulge me a little bit if I can talk just a little bit? And there's a point to this, but the NHL playoffs this year have just been tremendous. You go back to that game last night, double overtime victory for the Boston Bruins over the Pittsburgh Penguins. And, you know, it's wonderful for me because you're looking at these games and the final four teams that are still in the hunt for the Stanley Cup. So many players that are graduates of the Ontario Hockey League. It is just tremendous to see. Brandon Saad, of course, the former captain of the Saginaw Spirit. He'll attempt tonight to put the defending champion Los Angeles Kings along with the Chicago Blackhawks on the brink of elimination. We'll see what happens there. Of course, Mike Vellucci, who's with us from the Plymouth Whalers. James Neal from the Pittsburgh Penguins has become one of the top young scorers in the National Hockey League. Obviously, you've got Tyler Seguin with the Boston Bruins. Justin Williams having a very nice series with the LA Kings. Gregory Campbell, in case you missed it last night, maybe the most gritty, character-laden play that I have seen in any sport. A little background if you didn't see it. A penalty kill was going on. He was out there defending for the Boston Bruins. Took a shot in the leg by Evgeny Malkin, a guy who probably goes about 6'4", 230. The initial report after the fact, it was a broken leg for Gregory Campbell, former Plymouth Whaler and Kitchener Ranger. Gregory Campbell stayed out for the better part of a minute to complete that penalty kill after suffering a broken leg. For you nostalgia people reminiscent of Bobby Bond back in the early 1960s in a series against the Detroit Red Wings and the Toronto Maple Leafs in which he took a shot in the foot, came back to score a pivotal goal in Game 6 to force a Game 7. Sorry, Tom, but the Leafs ended up winning that Stanley Cup that time around. But it's just wonderful to see so many players that are graduates of the OHL. Here today, NHL tomorrow has been a slogan of ours and one that we're very, very proud of. And now it's starting to take shape, obviously, for the Saginaw Spirit in an NHL season. The most players in the history of the franchise to have played at least one game in the National League. It came this year. Mike Richards, a former Kitchener Ranger with the Los Angeles Kings. Jeff Carter, a former Sioux Greyhound, also with the LA Kings. Drew Doughty, former member of the Guelph Storm, one of the better young defensemen with the LA Kings. Pat Kane, former Calder Trophy winner. It goes on and on and on. And that's just scratching the surface of the number of players from the OHL participating in the Final Four of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So I appreciate you indulging me with that, but it's just I just wanted to make that parallel between the quality of the National Hockey League and the delivery of prominent talent from this league. The Detroit Red Wings, of course, just had a wonderful run this year, going 2 rounds deep and giving the Chicago Blackhawks. A lot of people fancy their chances for a second Stanley Cup in about 3 seasons, but great year for the Detroit Red Wings, obviously, and you never know, at the end of the day, it could be an original 6 final for the first time since 1979 if the Boston Bruins and the Chicago Blackhawks can prevail. So we'll wait and see on that, but on behalf of the Saginaw Spirit organization, I would cordially like to welcome all of you here, those of you that have traveled a distance, and we really appreciate the support, obviously, from the corporate community and certainly from members of the regional media. We appreciate your support today, and you know, every day that something that is going on with the Saginaw Spirit hits the airwaves or the media or the paper or radio or what have you. And I would like to let you know that this is an information session, an updated information session on the first ever Ontario Hockey League outdoor games as part of the SiruisXM satellite radio Hockeytown Winter Festival. I've learned from the gentleman to my right that you have to have the corporate sponsor involved anytime that you announce a particular event, so that one's on Craig, but it is going to be just a great, tremendous event that's, again, going to take over downtown Detroit. The Saginaw Spirit slated to play the Windsor Spitfires in the first game, and of course the defending league champion London Knights will go up against Mike Vellucci's Plymouth Whalers in the second game, and it's all synonymous obviously with a 2-week event. Of course, a year later due to the lockout situation, but you know, at the same time, maybe a year where everyone can sort of get their eggs in one basket again and make this event bigger and more prominent than it would have been a season ago. It would have been wonderful. Now we got a little extra time to make it that much more special. So we appreciate you coming out and taking it in, and I think it's just going to be a tremendous asset for the game of hockey, for the Ontario Hockey League, and for the franchises involved. And today we have three of the major players within the Ontario League component of the event providing information. Mr. Tom Wilson, the President and CEO of Olympia Entertainment. Mike Vellucci, the President, Governor, General Manager, and Head Coach of the Plymouth Whalers. I think I got most of his titles down there. And of course, the Managing Partner and President of the Saginaw Spirit, Craig Goslin. And at this time, I would like to welcome to the podium and introduce Tom Wilson for his comments. Tom, of course, oversees the business operations for Olympia Entertainment, an entity that has, among other properties, of course, the Fox Theater, the Detroit Tigers, the Detroit Red Wings under its umbrella. And his role with Olympia Entertainment comes after a 30-plus year tenure with the Detroit Pistons and the Palace of Auburn Hills. And he's got a background in hockey. He's a Detroit native, of course, and Tom has a background in hockey. Of course, he was with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He and Bill Davidson oversaw a Stanley Cup win by the Tampa Bay Lightning back in 2004. That coincided with a victory by the Detroit Pistons in the NBA championship as well. And I also made note of the fact that Tom got to start actually in Los Angeles, working with the Lakers and the Los Angeles Kings. And without further ado, it's my distinct privilege to introduce Tom Wilson.
Man, he can talk fast. I don't have anything left here. Thank you, Lee. Well, excuse me, on behalf of the Illich family and the Detroit Red Wings, the NHL, thank you just for taking the time to come down here, and thank you for all supporting hockey to the degree that everyone here in the Saginaw area does. And what's happened here with the Saginaw Spirit is incredibly impressive for a building that was going away 15 years ago to now be jumping and making a difference in the community. What an exciting experience to be part of, and congratulations to everybody involved. We're privileged to be doing this. As Lee said, we took a mulligan after last year when we had the work stoppage. We didn't get to do the game, but to some degree it does allow you to sort of look at it again and say, okay, what would we do if we had it to do over again without the benefit of playing the game and without having to wait 7 or 8 years for it to come around again. But this is going to be an exciting event, an exciting series of events, because it's not just the Winter Classic, but as you said, you've got a complete celebration of the game of hockey for 2 weeks that'll take place at Comerica Park that the OHL is going to be such an important player in. And you know, it's really interesting when you think of the events that our city and our state has been fortunate enough to host. And many times you have a big event and there's a lot of build-up for that big event, and then you have it, and then it goes away and you go on with the rest of your life until there's another big event that comes your way. And if you think about it, in the last 10 years, we've been fortunate enough to host a Super Bowl, a Major League Baseball All-Star Game, 2 trips to the World Series, 3 trips to the Stanley Cup Finals, 2 trips to the NBA Finals, a Ryder Cup, a Frozen Four, a Final Four, all in our little town, all in our little state that sometimes gets overlooked, and everyone has been sold out, and everyone has been executed in a way to make all of us extraordinarily proud. And I think when you look at the Winter Classic and the Winter Festival, we've got a chance to do it again. And in many ways, it's going to be an event that's even bigger than some of the ones that we talked about. So not only are you going to set a record in the history of the NHL for the Winter Classic, but if you think about it from a pragmatic standpoint, we all want to do things that help our state and help our city and our county, wherever we play, whatever we're a part of. Because we're all part of this big, incredible state of Michigan. And when you look at the economic impact, they always do the studies after the event. But a couple of years ago, Pittsburgh hosted the Winter Classic, and they had about 65,000, 70,000 people at the stadium for that event. And they had a little alumni game, and I say little because they had no idea how big this could be, and they had 10,000 people there. So there you've got 70,000, 80,000 people showing up, and it had an economic impact in the city. And remember, this is largely Pittsburgh residents, but the impact was around $40 million. Well, 70,000, 80,000 people, 110,000 people just in Ann Arbor, 250,000 people in downtown Detroit. Tens of thousands of these people, of these 350,000 people we're going to have here, are going to be our friends from Canada who are going to be eating our restaurants, they're going to be renting our hotel rooms, and they're going to be shopping in our stores. So when you look at 350,000 energized and motivated people compared with 80,000, it's going to dwarf that figure. So you don't have very many opportunities in our state to have something this consequential and this impactful on our economy come along very often. So we're blessed to be there. So as we look at these events, which I mentioned before was going to be a celebration of hockey, it culminates with the Winter Classic. The Detroit Red Wings, Toronto Maple Leafs. And this even amazed me, and I've been around a long time, but the teams have played each other 644 times. The Red Wings have won 275 games. The Leafs have won 276 games. In all those games with shootouts and overtimes and everything like that, the Wings have one more point than Toronto. So in some respects, this is going to be the ultimate rubber game, I guess, between the two franchises. But you look at the impact of that. We knew this was going to be big. And in Toronto, anything connected with hockey is going to be big. But the day we announced a year ago, we had a press conference at Comerica Park. It was the single busiest day we've ever had on our website, and the Toronto website crashed. Literally crashed because they couldn't handle the volume of calls, the volume of interest that was generated. So that's how big that game's going to be. Then when you look at what's going to happen at Comerica Park, we're doing a winter festival in the parking lot, but inside, as we talk about a celebration of hockey for 2 weeks, it's going to be everything from mites to youth to juniors to college to minor league teams to ultimately on New Year's Eve, an alumni game. Or was going to be an alumni game between Detroit and Toronto, of course. And I went to Kenny Holland before he got out. He was the one who was going to put together the Detroit team, and I said, how do you decide who's going to play? I mean, you look at the legends that have been part of this organization, and he said, I don't think it's going to be that hard. If a really good player calls, I'm just going to tell them who's playing in the game, and those are really great players, so they'll understand and they'll say thank you very much, and I appreciate it, thanks for taking the call. So I went to see Kenny a week later after he'd started calling some people and after people started calling him and the alumni was all chirping to each other, and he said, we got a problem. He said, we've got so many people that want to play, I can't do it. Either I got to put 40 guys out there, everybody skates one shift, and then we get them off and we bring somebody else in, or maybe we play a red-white game. So what we do is we put the first team out there and they play against Toronto. And then we come up with a second game and we get another 40 guys and they play against each other, red versus white, and they get one more spin around the ice, one more chance to be in the spotlight, which is a great thing for all your different alumni. And so we called Toronto and we said, well, here's our problem, and so this is what we want to do, a red-white game and the real game. And Toronto said, wait a second, we've got the same problem. And we've been turning people down left and right. Why don't we do two? So the greatest alumni game in the history of hockey has become the greatest two alumni games in the history of hockey. So if you're a fan and you're 10 or you're 110, there's going to be somebody out there on New Year's Eve that's going to be playing and that you're going to say, I watched him, I've seen him, he's my favorite person, whatever it might happen to be. And for 80 alumni of these two franchises, and I would say over 20 Hall of Famers will be either playing or present at this game. It's going to be an extraordinary experience for any hockey fan. So you couple that great event with the GLI, which is a 50-year-old college hockey tournament that we've been hosting for a long, long time. They will be there. The AHL, our minor league team, the Grand Rapids Griffins, who last night won a Game 7. A lot of Game 7s in our organization, but that puts them into the finals of the Calder Cup against Syracuse. That'll start this weekend, and so they're going to be in playing the Toronto Marlies, which is, of course, Toronto's minor league team. So it continues our border war concept, and then a doubleheader with the OHL, which is really what we're here to talk about today. So I think when the dust settles, if there's dust in the winter, you're going to have the largest crowd at this event in the history of the NHL, the largest crowd in the history of the OHL, and the largest crowd in the history of the Great Lakes Invitational, all in 1 week. So about this game, and you'll hear more from Mike Vellucci, who's just coming off winning every single award that you can win in the OHL, and also from Craig. But the date is December 29th. And also a doubleheader, and it's a Sunday, so our friends with the Lions, I want to give a shout out to Tom Lawand and everybody there, because I think it's going to be their last game of the season, and they agreed to play it on the road, so all the parking can be available to anybody who wants to come to this game. It will be London and Windsor, of course, Saginaw and Plymouth, and so I'm here today just to extend an invitation, open invitation to all the OHL cities, but particularly the 4 cities that are going to be competing, to come out and be part of history. As Lee suggests, they've never played an OHL game. Hard to believe, never played an outdoor OHL game. But I think you can count on 35, 40,000, whatever we can jam into Comerica Park to see that game, and it is a part of history. You know, there's only one first time. In this case, there's only two first times to see the two games. One's at 1 o'clock and one's at 5 o'clock, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And the production is going to be terrific. We're going to be working with the people from Plymouth and everybody up here in Saginaw to make it a great day of entertainment inside the park, but also a great day of entertainment outside the park. And we're setting up this whole festival grounds in the parking lots around Comerica. So if you want to come down early and make it an all-day hockey celebration, you can go to the festival. If you want to go out between games and attend this, or go after the game, it's great. It's going to be a combination of live bands and the NHL trophies and the Stanley Cup's going to be there, and autographs from some of our alumni. A lot of our alumni are going to be attending there all the time. Artificial ice, so if you want to go out and skate, or if the kids want to take a spin around, they can do that. And of course, there'll be a Miller beer tent for all the guys. So it's a little bit of something for everybody. It'll culminate with a huge fireworks show, which is going to be a lot of fun, and we'll use the Comerica scoreboard so that you can see this action in a way that maybe you've never been able to see before. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that game. We're looking forward to the doubleheader, which is going to be great, but we're looking forward to an amazing 2 weeks. So I want to thank both gentlemen for being part of this, and their teams and their organizations, and stay tuned. You're going to, if you not had enough hockey yet, you're about to. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom. And as Tom alluded to, it's been a good few days for our next speaker. It is Mike Vellucci. He recently became the winner of the OHL Coach of the Year a few weeks ago, and then he added the Executive of the Year honors in the Ontario Hockey League within the last couple of days. That is the first time in the history of the Ontario Hockey League an individual has won both of those prestigious awards in the same season. As a matter of fact, Bert Templeton, the late Bert Templeton, who oversaw a number of teams in the OHA and OHL back in the day, is the only other individual to have won both of those awards, and he did not do it in the same season. So wonderful year for Mike Vellucci. He eclipsed the 400 win plateau in the Ontario Hockey League earlier on in the season as well. And his Plymouth Whalers, you credit where credit is due. It's been a fabulous franchise ever since its inception. They make an annual right of appearing in the postseason in the Ontario League, 20-plus years to be exact. And at this time, I'd like to welcome to the stage Mike Vellucci.
Thank you, Lee. First, I just want to thank Tom Wilson and Ken Holland and Olympia Entertainment for inviting us to this great event. I want to thank Goose and the Saginaw Spirit. Also, Goose has worked very hard on this, and he's on top of me every day, making sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So thanks, Goose. One of the things I'm really proud of is the partnership that we have with the Saginaw Spirit. I really believe that on the ice, we are competitors. On the ice, we want to destroy each other. In fact, I think that's our Meyer cup up there that I'm supposed to take home with me. That's been here for a couple of years that I think I had. So, Goose, can somebody load that in the car for me? But really what I want to say is the partnership that we have with Dick Garber and Craig Goslin goes back a long way. 7 years ago, I know Goose had a great relationship with the Meyer guys, and he had a program that he started, and he helped us in Plymouth nurture it and develop this, and it has been something very special to us in Plymouth. It's a great opportunity to team up with Meyer, and Goose was very instrumental in that. And that doesn't happen. A lot of times everybody has so much animosity against each other when you play against each other and you want to win and you don't win, you get upset. But off the ice, if we can be partners, it's something very special. And I just thank Dick Garber and Goose for the special relationship, the friendship off the ice. And again, we want to take each other's heads off on the ice, but off the ice we're partners, and I'm proud that we can team up with them and the Detroit Red Wings and have a great game out at the outdoor game. I can tell you this, that my players are very, very excited. They were really bummed when we couldn't play this past year. I answered more questions about that than our power play, our penalty kill, you name it. They wanted to talk about the outdoor game. They're excited. Quite honestly, I'm very excited. It's going to be a great opportunity to showcase our talent, our players' talent to Southeast Southwest Ontario and all of the Detroit area, Saginaw, Plymouth. I just believe that when they actually see the guys, we have a Tom Wilson on our team that's really good too, Tom, and he's a first-round pick to the Washington Capitals. After we were done with the playoffs, he played in Game 5, 6, and 7 for Washington of the Stanley Cup as an 18-year-old. So it's an opportunity for us to showcase our talent with all the first-round NHL picks that we have on our team, all the great players, the NHL picks this year that Saginaw is going to have. They have great young talent that's coming up through. So, but I think it's a great opportunity for us to showcase our talent to everybody. And then when we're talking about 25, 35, 40,000 people to come watch our guys play, it's going to be very special. We're going up against London, who we just got knocked out. So I'm expecting a great game. I'm expecting a great game between Saginaw and Windsor. Both teams are going to be very, very good next year. I think Saginaw will probably be taking that trophy back next year. That they got Jake Patterson, just a great, outstanding goaltender that was drafted by the Red Wings, and several young players that are really going to mature and be a real good hockey team this year. So I can say that I'm excited. Our players are excited. And we're expecting a great turnout, and I hope if I can invite everybody in the Plymouth area and Saginaw and all of Michigan to come and enjoy the great Ontario Hockey League that I'm proud to be a member of. I hope we can see you all out there, and thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Now here to discuss the Saginaw Spirit's participation in the event is Craig Goslin, who is also a past recipient of the Ontario Hockey League Executive of the Year. As a matter of fact, he won it in back-to-back seasons. So without further ado, here is the president and managing partner of the Saginaw Spirit, Craig Goslin.
Thank you, Lee. On behalf of the OHL and the entire CHL, we're grateful for, I guess, a take two of the Hockeytown Winterfest at the OHL Outdoor Doubleheader. We had planned this press conference last season, so although much of the information that you're receiving today, a lot of it is not new, but some of it is. And we wish to bring the light and put our history-making games back in the spotlight, if you will. As these are the first ever OHL outdoor games, we wish to thank Tom Wilson for his presence here today, and for your, certainly Tom, for your invitation to participate in the December 29th historical event at Comerica Park. I want to say a little bit more about Tom Wilson. Tom is recognized as one of the top, if not the top, business executive in all of sports. And to have Ken Holland and Tom Wilson on the same team is no wonder that great things are happening with the Red Wings and Olympia Entertainment. Not only is he a top executive, but he's a top person. He's a great person. And I had a personal story. 12 years ago when we started our franchise, I was encouraged to contact the Palace Sports Entertainment because they did everything right. Everything from their game day operations, from their ticketing, to their team presenting sponsorship, which Meyer has with ours. Tom was the innovator of that sponsorship with Rock Financial down in Detroit. And I called there and asked to speak to Tom Wilson, not expecting to be able to get through to Tom Wilson. I spoke to his secretary. I thought I'd get a call back from one of his understudies. Much to my surprise, about an hour later, I got a call back from Tom Wilson, and he said it was collect, yeah. And we spoke for a considerable time. He told me of some of the things to do, some of the things not to do when you start up a franchise. And Tom, we're very grateful for your support and certainly those times. He also, when he was with the Palace, had a string of 235 consecutive sellouts at the Palace Sports there at the Palace, and now has a consecutive sellout streak of over 100 with the Detroit Red Wings. So it's no coincidence that's happening. It's because of Tom Wilson. I also like to thank our facility manager here, SMG, Matt Blasey, and his fine staff here. Tyler Abbs, you guys have done a great job with everything you're doing here. We have a lease with SMG here at this facility, and the prime date of the year that we have is December 29th. That day is the best day for the hockey club, and it's the best day for SMG here at the facility. And they've been willing to give up that date for us to have this outdoor game. So we certainly appreciate you guys, Matt, and all you do for us, and we thank you for being supportive of our outdoor game. Thank you. So circle the date on your calendar, December 29th. One of the benefits of the lockout, as Tom mentioned, it gives us the extra year to prepare. We think this is going to be an outstanding day at the park. Last year we had over 21,000 tickets that were sold for a tentative game. And so this year we do expect to have that number well over 30,000. Canadian Hockey League record crowd, the record crowd right now is 22,000. So we know we're going to surpass that. So some of the entertainment that we're going to be providing down there from the OHL perspective, we're planning right now on bringing in the Superstars. Those of you who have seen the large inflatable entertaining creatures, they will be there in droves for the entire day, as well as all the music in the tents and all the different things that Olympia puts together. It's going to be a spectacular, entertaining day at Comerica Park. The one thing I'm personally really going to be interested in seeing is the left field video wall. How big is that thing, Tom? I mean, it's just it's huge. He said it's huge. Yeah, huge is the word. But I mean, I've heard I don't know how many yards it is across, but it's big. And those of you that have seen it, but I'm going to be really interested in seeing our video up there, our player stats, the Spirit logo, the OHL logos, and the like up on that big video wall. We also are going to be having a specialty theme jersey for the teams. And Lindsay, where is that? It's underneath. Here is the Saginaw Spirit's theme jersey that we're going to be wearing for the game. And we'll have this on display here for the media after the discussion here. But that's what Saginaw's be wearing. I know that the other teams, too, are in the planning stages of putting their theme jerseys together. These jerseys, the Saginaw jerseys, will be auctioned off for charity after the game and the weeks following the game. So it's a pretty big event. We want to have some theme jerseys to make that happen. So ticketing information. I know everybody's asking about tickets. And right now you can thank you, Mike. You can do something creative. The ticketing information is right now fans can pre-order tickets. They can do that by calling the Saginaw Spirit office at 989-497-7747. And the Plymouth Whaler fans can call 313-453-8400. And they can pre-order their tickets. They'll get their name. They can pay for their tickets, and they can get their name on a file to keep those and get a premium location. You can also order in person by going to the Spirit store and to the Whaler office. And season ticket holders will be given the first priority for seat locations. Other ticket information is single game ticket buyers can also pre-order tickets now. So we encourage them to contact the Whalers and the Spirit office to pre-order their tickets. Ticket prices very family affordable. They're $38, $28, and $18. And those of you that have never been to an outdoor game, the premium seats for an outdoor game are in the upper deck. They're in the upper level, and that's the $38 seat. The ones down lower don't quite have as good sight lines of the rink, and you see the rink the way it's going to be set up here in the photos that we have here. It's really set up from the third baseline across to the first baseline, and all those seats in the upper deck are going to have a really premium sight line of the game. So those are the tickets you're going to want to get. As Tom mentioned, all the other Hockeytown Winter event tickets, all those are going to be on sale through Olympia Entertainment and at NHL.com. So the Spirit and the Whalers will have nothing to do with those tickets. That's something that you can go to the Detroit Red Wings website to get information on that as it becomes available. I know right now they're bundling those tickets, and the single game tickets for these other events are not yet on sale. So that's why we've got a special opportunity for our fans, for the Whaler fans, for the London Knight fans, Spitfire fans, to pre-order their tickets now, specifically just for the one game, for the outdoor game doubleheader. So anyways, some of the things too, a lot of the stuff was already covered, but we look at this as a great opportunity to grow the fan base of the OHL, to showcase the high talent that we've got in our league. Personally, for the Saginaw Spirit, we look at this as an opportunity to promote the Great Lakes Bay region and all the good things that are going on here. We plan on working with Annie Rummel and the Convention and Visitors Bureau and they're going to table in the park at Comerica Park and bring to light a number of the good things that we have happening here in our region. Invite people to come here to visit our region and stay in our hotels and shop in our stores, eat in our restaurants and the like. So the four teams that are participating, nothing more needs to be said about them. They're storied franchises, and certainly it's going to be a great day at the Comerica Park on December 29th. So on behalf of the OHL Executive Council, the Board of Governors, Commissioner David Branch, the four teams participating, we'd like to thank Ken Holland, Tom Wilson for inviting us to be part of this day, and the Illich family. The Illich family has put so much time and energy and resources into this. The amount of money that they've put into what's going to become a transformation of the downtown area in and around Comerica Park is extraordinary, and for us to be part of it, we're very grateful. And with that, Tom will be available for the press and the media over here to our right when we're done here, and we thank you all for coming today. Thank you.
Yeah, just to echo Craig's thoughts, thanks very much for coming out today. We appreciate it. We know the schedules are busy, and again, the media, terrific. Thanks for coming out and covering this event. As Craig alluded to, it happens only once, and it's going to be a tremendous, tremendous opportunity to grow the game of hockey, grow the Ontario Hockey League, and showcase the Saginaw Spirit specifically with the other 3 teams that are participating. Again, we thank you for coming out, and again, the gentleman will be available for individual comments should you require that. Thank you.